Hello and welcome to Zero Today. I am your humble host, Dr. Lorenzo Neal, hailing from Cajun Land, USA, here to present you with seeds of wisdom, insight, empowerment, and liberation. We're promoting a knowledge that is engaging and transforming, and we are helping you, our listeners, to knowing and impacting the world around us. And as always, you're welcome to join us on this luminous journey. If you would like to follow us on our social media, we are on Facebook at the Zero Network, on Facebook, on Twitter. The show handle is at Twitter at Zero Radio. My personal handle is at Lorenzo T. Neal. I know I got that one messed up, but y'all forgive me. And we're also available on all, you can listen to us on all podcasts, platforms, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. We are everywhere, and we're so grateful for that. And also, if you haven't done so, I want to take this opportunity to invite you not just to like and listen to our show, but become a supporter of our show. Go to patreon.com and become a patron for as little as $1 a month. Go to patreon.com/Lorenzo T. Neal. And yeah, I think I got good things there for you to help support the show. It's because of you we're able to do all that we are doing. I'm delighted to have with me today as a guest a wonderful man I stumbled across that I think is going to be a wonderful asset to you and to our world. And that is the person of Andy Charles. Andy Charles is a singer, author, life coach, podcast host, speaker, and just around about Renaissance man. And he does team building. He does life coaching for individuals. And hey, he's going to tell us everything else he does. So at this time, welcome, Andy. I appreciate you for joining.
Hey, thank you for having me, Dr. Lorenzo. It is indeed an extreme pleasure just to be with you and your listeners at this time. Looking forward to it.
And, you know, I keep wanting to call you doctor. I don't know why. I keep wanting to call you Dr. Andy. But, I know you have the expertise, the life, everything experience of a doctor. I had to go, maybe you did have to write the dissertation and all that stuff too. I don't know.
I hear you.
But if I call you doctor, it's honorary. But I'm quite sure you're well worth it.
Okay, appreciate that.
So tell me and my audience a little bit more about yourself and what do you do that makes you so unique and valuable? Because you're a valued commodity. Right. So tell my listening audience a little bit about your background, and we'll go from there.
All right. Well, I came from a preacher's home, actually. My father was a minister in a local Baptist church, and he was the one that sort of introduced me to spirituality, and it became the foundation of my life. And later on, as I grew up and I became an adult and I started to get all the sense of what I was supposed to be and the things that God had blessed me with, I decided that I needed to take what I had gathered from my father a few steps further. So I started educating myself and I started seeking answers for the questions that I had about my play, my role in the world. And I realized that there were many things that God had blessed me with. I went to music school. I started doing singing. I did singing in Sunday school. I did singing in the church. I did singing in the choir. I sang in a band. And, I had the opportunity to do a number of things, and my skills were quite varied. And then I decided I needed to put all these things together in such a manner that it would make a meaningful contribution to life. Because I believe that we are all here for a purpose. And I'm thankful to God that I found my purpose. And so the ability to minister, to write, to teach, to preach, to coach, to be a podcast host, all these things have culminated in me being the individual that I am today. And what I'm doing now is looking for the opportunity every day to influence people's life, to bring about the need and the desire for a positive change, to get upliftment, to bring hope, to bring a sense of accomplishment to people that believe that they are here for a purpose and there's something more in their lives than just being a number or a statistic. And so I'm thankful to God that He has brought me to this place, and now I'm here sharing it with you and your listeners, and it indeed is a great pleasure. My belief is that my future and my goal, my vision is to be impactful, not just to make a difference in people's life, but to live a life that they would see a sermon, not just hear a sermon. I want that when I say something, that something can be backed up by the things that I do. They must see the fruits of what I preach and teach in my life. And that reality is something that I believe can make a difference, because I must be the change that I want to see in the world, and it starts with me. And if I can transfer that to another brother, another sister, as the case might be, and we do that, we just impact one person in our lives every day. And we increase and build and grow and develop one day at a time, one step at a time. We can make a difference, and everybody in the world can benefit as a result.
That you said a lot, and I want to try to unpack all of that, because our show is all about empowerment, liberation, and illumination. And so let's delve into and both. I'm a son of a preacher and I'm a pastor myself. It's something about us PKs. We get this inspiration, and not only do we get inspiration, we want to do it big. We just can't settle for just being the preacher's kid. But and there's nothing wrong with that. But
Right.
When we know God has gifted us, we want to outshine our daddies. And So I know some who try to do it in a bad way, but for most of us, we simply want to build on what God has already gifted to our family, and I know you're doing that.
Yeah.
So let's dive into this aspect of coaching. How did you get involved in speaking first? How did you get involved in speaking, and then how did that lead into your coaching?
All right. Well, speaking actually started when I was doing elementary school. We had a lot of poetry taking place in our school, a lot of dramas taking place in our school, and I was involved in the drama company from quite an early age. And they had these shows that they used to put on, and they would randomly choose people to do the lead and so on. And most of the times they would choose me. And when I found out that they were paying all that attention to me, I said to myself, you know what? I need to take some time and to look into how I can speak properly, or I can speak better. And so my two favorite subjects became English and English literature. And I started to study guys like Shakespeare and stuff, because I wanted to understand the power of the English language through poetry. And that helped me to elevate my status a lot. And as I appear before people over time, my confidence began to build. And as I began to build that confidence and educate myself and ask questions of speakers who I have admired and seen done good before, everything just sort of came into place, and it's evolved over time, and here I am. With regards to coaching, about 15 years ago, I joined the Lions Clubs International, and they propelled me into positions of authority and leadership because they recognized certain things in me. And the organization helped me to realize, hey, you have something within you that you can help people discover things about themselves. And when I recognized that, I decided, you know what? I need to improve in that area as well. And I took all the courses, I attended all the seminars, and I started speaking, and I started helping people and coaching, and it all came together. It's been a fantastic journey. I'm thankful for every minute of it. And I am telling the story, and it feels good.
And I'm glad that you took advantage of those opportunities. It says something that other people saw potential. Can you speak to that regarding to coaching? I would like to say I coach, but I do coach. Yeah. My background is in education, and as a music educator, I had to do the coaching, all of that stuff. So right. I'm familiar with it. But how do you get people to pull that out? I mean, how do you pull that out of people? when you see something in them and they come to you initially for maybe just a little advice, what do you do? How do you pull it out?
All right. Well, the first thing you've got to get someone to recognize is that they need to identify what they specifically want to accomplish. What is your goal? What is the thing that you want to achieve the most? And most of the times it is discovered in the fact that they realize that there is this thing that makes me feel fulfilled. It complements me. It makes me feel better as an individual. But they do not have the skill and the wherewithal to take it to the next level, or so they think. That's not true. All of us are blessed with the ability to take ourselves to the next level. The responsibility of the coach is to help that individual get outside of limiting beliefs and doubts and fears and inhibitions, and grasp at the inside of them that says every day, there's a little part of me that says I can do it, but I need for someone to put me and to show me the right track and the right direction in which I go into. So the next step is this. Now that we have discovered what you need to do, what you need to accomplish, what the goal is, the next thing is you need to decide how you want to get it accomplished. So it goes into planning. When someone has a plan, when someone has a design for something, it becomes structural. And when it becomes structural, it becomes meaningful. And that gives them the impetus to believe that they can actually accomplish it. What you do with that plan also is that you put a time frame, and as they go along, you do assessments over that period of time. So you assist them in finding that thing, you assist them in creating the plan for the thing, and you assist them in setting a time frame to accomplish it. And then you show them the way and you let them go. Because within them, they have it. It's just that they need you to help them discover and to put that thing in the right place so that it can go forward with the necessary force, the commitment, and the compassion that they're supposed to have for it to be a success. And 95% of the time, it works.
So what's the general time frame that you give an individual that you're coaching? What's the general time frame do you get? If they come to, for example, if I were to come to you and I'm pretty confident, I'm pretty cocky, and I'm really arrogant, I know I can do this. I'm just coming to you just to get a little more insight, a little more versus I come to you and I have this big idea and I know I can do it. I have it written down, but I am just uncertain as to how to execute. How would you go with both those individuals? What would be a time frame and a process and assessment for both of those individuals?
Okay, great. Normally, we look initially at a short-term period of assessment, and that is, in most instances, 3 months for both individuals. But one thing that we always caution people about, it is good to have grand dreams. It is good to be cocky. It is good to be yourself. Nothing is wrong with that. But you have got to learn how to manage that. And you have got to learn how to channel that. And it will not always work in your best favor. That's the reason why you have a coach. A coach tells you what to do with your ability so that you can get the best results out of it. And so what we do is we create that time frame and we let them know, hey, let's look at 3 months down the road and see what is going to happen. But in the meantime, you need to get the work done. You need to always tell yourself, I have a plan. I have a desire for the plan to become a reality. I did not know the particular steps that I needed to take to get it done. But now that I do, I'm going to learn better how to manage myself. And remember, procrastination is a murderer. You got to get rid of procrastination. If you need to do something, you got to do it now. The moment that you are in is the most important. So we get them to understand that the moments that they have in their lives, where the reality of that goal becomes important, seize on it, lash on it, get it done. Don't wait until tomorrow. Because remember, it's a daily progress, step by step, to get to the place that you need to get to. And you've got to be able to manage yourself within that time frame as best as you possibly can. All of us can do it. It just takes a different attitude, a different mental approach, and a hunger to succeed, to get better, just to be a better version of who we are.
And when you what is it like when a person comes to you and they've accomplished their tangible goal, they met that assessment? What is it like for them and for you as a coach?
It is like being born again.
Yes, sir.
It is like a newfound joy. It is like a child now coming into the world, and you give that proverbial slap and the baby cries, and wow, that feeling, that experience, new life is born. It's a discovery that brings hope to that individual. And so what you then do is you congratulate them. You give them their kudos for sticking to it, for making the efforts, for doing the homework, for being diligent. And at the end of the day, you let them know, hey, it is all up to you now. You know what works for you. Be consistent. Continue doing it. Just get better. 1% every day, and it will be all right.
And as a pastor, and I think I had to learn this when it came to shepherding people. And I guess in so many ways, pastors are our coaches, but we're more disciple makers. We try to get people to emulate Jesus Christ than model us. It grieves me that I love pastors who have taken this, this model of shepherding and really misused it, abused it, and caused a lot of people to stray. So for myself, for members of the clergy who are aspiring to go into this field of coaching, and like I told you before, although I practice it, I don't necessarily call myself a coach. And I'm looking to launch. Well, not looking. I have launched a coaching. And I don't like to call it business, but a coaching service for self-differentiation, which is my specialty in the field of psychology, family systems. Yeah. But for me, as far as and for pastors and for other leaders, you do team. I know you do team coaching, but for individual, what would you say to a pastor who is seeking maybe to branch out into that area of coaching? And I'm not sure if it's compatible, life coaching versus all this other coaching that's out there. I don't know. So what would you say to a pastor or clergy who's trying to, because I've seen, to be honest with you, a lot of people adding that to their profile on like Instagram and YouTube, and I'm like, what does that mean? So I hope I make no sense.
I hear you. And I want you to consider something. If you look at guys like, I started looking at coaches when I started looking at Pat Riley, you know the name, right? Mm-hmm. And Coach Belichick. Mm-hmm. Coach Belichick is exceptional because he's a holistic coach. Let me break that down for you. He not just coaches people to be good football players in the NFL, but he teaches them to be better persons. And so if you want to get into an area as a clergy or a pastor or a minister where you want to be a coach to people, your approach to it has to be holistic. What it means simply is this: every aspect of that individual's life that needs to be enhanced, you got to be able to help them to do it. And the reason why that is important is because the church must be a place of sanctuary for the people that attend that church. They must feel confident that they can go to the person who is in charge and get the necessary information, help, support, understanding, commitment, and all the other things that goes with it that makes them feel that they are important, that they are part of the whole situation and the whole circumstance of everything, and that they are a stakeholder that's important to the development and growth of the organization. If you can get that across to them as an individual who is looking to improve on your ability to be a pastor or minister, you're going to make the world of difference in their lives. All people need to know is that there's someone who cares about me, not just because I attend the church, but because I'm an individual who has value, and they're showing me that value every day in my life in different aspects and allowing me to successfully embrace that value and be a better me every day. If you can do that, it's going to make a world of difference.
And that right there is, I think, where a lot of these new contemporary clergy who try to branch off into that, they forget that part, the holistic. I know it's an enterprise and all of that, but I think they miss that part. And a lot of people do it, but their clients leave less whole.
Yeah.
So let's get into your books. How many books do you have, and why? What was the inspiration behind you authoring those books? And we'll go from there.
Well, I actually wrote 3 books, but I published only one. And the one that I published is entitled "To Lose a Dream." And I wrote that in abstract because I wanted to get to the subconscious mind of people more than the conscious. A lot of people don't know this, but 95% of what we do is triggered by what we have in our subconscious, our beliefs about things and life and people that we are preconceived and have stored in there, just waiting for the trigger moment to come out. But you can get the book on Amazon. It's available on Amazon. And the reason why I wrote that book is because it helped me define my personal struggles at a time in my life when I was looking to get to a point where I understood who I was. It helped me discover me. And so instead of losing out on what my dream was, I found a way to get to a place where I could understand and be all encompassing about things I needed to do to accomplish my dream. And I put all of that in the book. I wrote it, I felt good about it, and it was published. So it's available in Amazon. The other 2, one was about a second part of To Lose a Dream, and the other one was about an individual who got lost in the jungles of Guyana and stuff, but they were never published. One book published, To Lose a Dream. You can get it on Amazon.
Awesome. So we're wrapping up here. You do so much. What is the most inspirational thing for you? What causes you to stay focused and on your path of inspiration and empowerment for others?
Okay, great. When I preach, when I minister the word of God, and someone comes and tells me, not after the message, but a week after, 2 weeks after, 3 weeks after, preacher, minister, however they choose to address me, you see that thing you spoke about that Sunday morning, that thing you preach about? I tried it and it worked. That uplifts me. When I sing a song and somebody's heart is blessed in so much that they are moved, not just motivated, not just a sugar rush for the moment, but inspired to do something based on what they heard in the song, that gives me energy. When I put a podcast episode out and people are excited because it connects with them in a particular way and I can build a relationship with them and touch and move something on the inside of them, that gives me energy, that gives me the impetus, that gives me inspiration to go on and move on and do better. Because the greatest thing we can do is to connect with people, make an impact on their lives, build relationships. I have neighbors all over the world. Why? Because the world is a place where we ought to be able to be there for each other. And my purpose is to be there for everybody else. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, your status in society, your religion, it does not matter. Those things are unimportant. I am okay and everybody else is okay. And once that is my team, I believe that I will continue to feel the good things that all these aspects of my life make me feel. And I'm grateful to God for that.
You know, that's amazing because I felt that I have the same kind of sense, not just when it comes to preaching, but in ministry. I love it when people that I have forgotten that I have ministered to come back and say, hey, you ministered it to me and I still remember, or I still, the Lord moved through you to allow me to be healed. I'm healed, staying in it and all of that and things like that. And I have a lot of little letters and memos people have sent over the years. And I tell you, it is very inspirational. And hearing you say that is inspiring to know that you're driven by service.
Yes.
And that's empowering. I think that's being lost.
That's right.
That's being lost. Yeah. Last question,
sure.
Before we get on out of here. How can people, if they really want to be coached by you, all the people from all across the world that listen to this show virtually, how can they get in touch with you? How, if they want your service as a coach, what do they need to do?
All right. Well, there are many ways in which you can get to me. First of all, my email is lovebitsa@gmail.com. That's lovebitsa@gmail.com. You can get me on Facebook at MD Dreamer, Facebook mddreamer.com. I'm on Instagram, hashtag Andy Charles 8417, Andy Charles 8417. You can get me on Twitter, twitter.kimena, KEYNENA.com. You can go to my website and leave a message on andyspersonaldevelopment.com. Or you can visit my pod site. My podcasts are on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, you name it. We are also on Buzzsprout and Podbean. It's andyspersonaldevelopment.com. So those are all the medias and means in which you can reach out to me. Also on my blog at charloscc.blogspot.com. charloscc.blogspot.com. Those are the mediums by which you can make contact with me.
Thank you, Dr. Andy. Maybe I'm speaking it into existence. I don't know.
I hear you. I hear that.
I really want to appreciate you so much for thinking it not robbery to be a guest on my show. Yeah. It's been a minute since I had guests on my show. I've been doing a whole lot of monologues. Okay. Some of them have been good, but this last year and a half and such has been really crazy. And so it's a joy for me to be able to interact with guests again. And I'm grateful that you thought it not robbery to accept my offer. Yes, and maybe we'll have another opportunity to have you back on and talk a little bit more about some other topics, because I know we a short amount of time we didn't get a chance to. We just scraped the top.
That's right.
Tip of the iceberg. So we'll see if we can reconnect and get you back on again. Again, my guest today, is Andy Charles. He's a podcast host. He's a writer. He's a speaker. He's a coach. And most of all, he's a servant of God. And we're just grateful for him. Make sure you go to Amazon, check out his book, support him and what he does. And I'm sure if y'all listen, you should just have him coach just because of the accent. There's nothing else. Just the accent. I mean, the accent should be motivation enough. Listen, you should hear how I am. I'm excited. That's the accent. Those Caribbean accents. But anyway, thank God for you. And again, support him. He's giving you the information. And also, We want to thank you for supporting the Zero Hour Today show. Invite you to continue to support, become a patron. Go to patreon.com/Lorenzo T. Neal. Follow us on all of our social media. We appreciate you for all you do. Be looking out for a new episode of my podcast, Your Differentiated Self, on Anchor.com and all the other outlets. We are so glad for your participation, your support. And until next time, this is Dr. Lorenzo Neal. We're looking forward to another day's journey. Thank you.